Hold my camera. Let's see if it holds my camera. The camera is like right in the way. But big up the YouTubers. Got a new stand. Trying to work it out. Everybody want to see what I go on in the studio here, Mikey. So got to get the people what they want. But welcome one and all. If you're watching online, if you're listening, this is Suzette Speaks show. The time is now 1:13 in the city. Today's show is going to be about probably the three biggest stories in this election right now. Again, South Florida is creating waves throughout the country because someone who just joined the Democratic Socialists of America, now she wasn't always affiliated with them, and I love the fact that I've been going through some of her interviews, the giant slayer, Miss Angie Nixon, a state representative out of Jacksonville, Florida, Duval, has shattered, I would say, glass ceilings and more with her election as the Democratic candidate on the United States Senate ballot. She will go head to head with the Republican in November, Ashley Moody. And the thing about this race is Angie Nixon boldly, and again, just underestimated at every single point and turn in the amount of money she had. The amount of money it takes to run in Florida. She didn't even get quarter of it. She only raised $1 million. $1 million is a lot to me and you. But Angie Nixon only raised $1 million compared to Mr. Vindman. I think their totals were like 16 million plus. He raised more than the Republican and Angie Nixon combined. Mr. Vindman, of course, her opponent, Alex Vindman, was known most widely for his whistleblowing against the Trump administration and having testified in the Trump impeachment. But he was not of Florida. His whole campaign seemed a little bit distant. Why? Well, because he is not, connected, I guess, to the soil, if you will. And I don't want to say it in a way that people can't come from different places. Is not what I am intending to mean by that. But I mean, he has no roots or no kind of connection at all, it felt like, to the state of Florida. So when many people saw him, it was almost like, someone coming from out of town. They have a term for that. You know what the term is? The term is carpetbagger. The term is carpetbagger, and I am, I don't know if I think that name is justified for him, but I do think this race said a lot about when an individual is chosen by the national party versus when people from the area, from the state, from the neighborhoods and the cities and the counties actually choose who they want. No poll was even really taken. And if there was a poll of the Florida Democratic primary, they weren't saying Angie Nixon was the leader. By all measures and all accounts, Mr. Alex Vindman had the advantage. Far out fundraised her. Far had her at a disadvantage when it came to money. She only spent, what was it, like $60,000 on TV? That's nothing. That's nothing. I'd like to now acknowledge that Miss Angie Nixon was featured here on the Suzette Speaks show. Yes, I had her on before she became the Democratic nominee. Let's just say it. When I saw a woman take the House of Representatives floor during the redistricting fight here in Florida, what does that mean? The Republican-controlled state legislature redrew the maps. This is how we got where we are. We have to go back to come forward, because I'm having conversations with people right now telling me they're upset. A lot of people have been saying that they're upset with the outcome of this, especially the Broward County folks, Congressional District 20. The nation is still talking about us, y'all. How a seat that was given to the community by the Voting Rights Act, it was created as a Black or African American representative access district, because if people don't understand the history of this country, they would not understand that just 30 years ago, oh, that's such a long time. It's not that long. Just 30 years ago, it took legislation to create access, what we call access districts, that are allowing folks who were not elected ever before to possibly become elected by drawing the maps to reflect the communities that had natural ties. And oftentimes, the communities that had natural ties that were African American prior to this were split up. So there was never a chance for someone. Sorry for the feedback. There was never a chance for Africa. In my headphones. Sorry about that, folks. I'm fixing my headphones. I'm getting a little feedback. Sorry, no disrespect. Sorry, I don't know why the headphones low. You know what that means? They want me to play a little bit of let me see. Do I have Angie Nixon's speech? Let me see. Do I have her electric rally? Because what people are saying right now, this is a woman that her opponent's wife, Alex Vindman's wife, who I just told you about, ran against Angie Nixon. She was mocked by his wife for her clothes and saying that she can't even wear good shoes. Yeah. Y'all didn't hear about this? Angie Nixon was very much ridiculed by the wife of her opponent. And a lot of people didn't take it well. But I'm telling you, this is a shock to the status quo, the establishment, the people that normally make the calls and pull the strings. They are looking at this race like, what happened? It is unbelievable. It is groundbreaking. It is revolutionary that a black woman from Jacksonville with a cute southern drawl. When she talks, she has a little southern drawl. She has a little accent. I love it. She is herself fully with natural hair, well presented, well spoken, but not only about her aesthetics. I'm talking about her ideology. It resonated with somebody. They are calling her socialist. She's saying she don't agree with the whole platform of Democratic Socialists of America, but she wants health care for all. She does want expansion of Medicaid. She does want expansion of child care for every child. Yes, she does want a decrease in prescription drug prescription drug prices. I'm trying to say like prices and crisis at the same time. Prescription drug prices. She wants you not to choose between staying alive and paying your bills. It shouldn't bankrupt you to stay alive. Yeah, they calling that radical. Is that so radical to you? To be able to pay for your prescriptions, to be able to have health care, to be able to have a living wage. She also believes in $25 living wage. I don't know. These ideas, I'm not saying that I necessarily agree, I'm just putting them out there because people felt it and voted for her. It's not about the bucks, said Mr. Roland Martin. It's about the ballot. Who shows up to vote? Now, Broward County, I have to get with you, and Miami-Dade as well. When we look at the numbers don't lie. The people didn't show up. When there are folks now upset, there are people who are happy that Debbie Wasserman Schultz, but a majority of people I've talked to are very, uneasy. They don't know, they didn't like it. I have had conversations up to this morning with fellow lady lawyers. I can't believe it. People saying they don't want her. I'm like, it's too late now. If you wanted to get on board and start to campaign for other people or help elect who you believed in, that was supposed to happen before this election. Now, after the primaries, which is where each party selects their champion, selects their representative to go to November to take on the other party, I don't understand why we have such apathy when the primaries are so critical. Looking at the numbers again, I have to congratulate. And you may not like him, you may not agree, but we're going to congratulate everybody here at Voice of the Caribbean. Listen, the numbers don't lie. It's not about books. It's about ballots. And if people don't show up, other people who they may not want get through the door. So let's look at the Republicans elected for their representative to go to November for governor. Jamaican Panamanian, they say? Mr. Byron Donalds. And I welcome, right here on the Suzette Speaks show, the Republican nominee, if he'd like to come on. The Democratic nominee is none other than Mr. David Jolly, former Republican turned Democrat, said he left the party when Trump started trumping. That's what he says, not my words. He's like, when Trump, what he ushered in, he didn't agree with. So he said, nope, that's not what he wants. He became, I think it was like 2018, he became a Democrat and has been working in Democratic circles ever since. We see, like I said, what is a huge story. The people had the final say when it came to United States Senate. An underfunded, non-really endorsed, not by the major establishment. Angie Nixon had the grassroots. Hey. She has 20 years experience as an organizer. I don't know why people ignored that. Angie Nixon is not new to this. She's a union organizer. She has run statewide organizations. She has represented the people of Jacksonville in the State House of Representatives. And she was bold enough to step out there when nobody believed it was possible. Now, there are folks and commentators that are saying this is the race she could win. She's not going to win the general. Do you underestimate it? Because guess what? Republicans have 1 million more registered voters than Democrats right now in the state of Florida. In the state of Florida, Republicans have 1 million more registrations, voter registrations, than Democrats. They have a 1 million person or voter advantage in terms of registration. Now, that just we got people registered. Clearly, Broward County. Can I get on Broward County? I need to play the commentary by Joy Ann Reid. Joy Ann made she's on vacation right now. She is of the Broward County area. She was really heavily Uncle Luke. But she got very upset with the outcome of CD20. Congressional District 20 is the central Broward district that runs from Federal West, right? Central Broward, because what they did in the redistricting is they broke Broward County into all 4 districts. Broward County has now been gerrymandered. What does that mean? Cut up to give an advantage to the opposing party. So Broward, some of the voters went to CD25. Some of the voters, Congressional District 25. We got to look at who else won today. I got to do the results. I'm going to break it down. Don't worry, because if you didn't vote, you missed out. 140,000 eligible voters for Congressional District 20 that Debbie Wasserman Schultz won did not show up. I saw a clip. I'm going to play it. It was originally from, I think it was NBC. I saw it replayed on Roland Martin. I'm going to roll it for you, and it's going to speak to why there's so many people that decided to stay home. It hurt my heart. It hurts my spirit. Regardless of who you think you would have supported. Regardless of you now saying, oh, wow, I didn't know this was, so important. There is power in the ballot box. And I think there's powers that be that try to confuse people and try to intimidate people. And among those who may not be as plugged in and don't self-educate, don't Google and try to figure out what's going on, or maybe they have busy lives. I don't want to judge for whatever reason, but I do think, the ability to understand what's going on in politics, people have lost that edge. There has not been a good civics education that has gone into our high school system. Not everywhere is created equal when it comes to civics education. Let's just be very clear. So when people are confused about how elections work, or what is a primary, or they only vote for the president and they don't vote every 2 years, they only vote presidential years, it is so frightening to me, because it lets people get through the door that shouldn't be going through the door. It lets people who get their people to vote represent you, even though that person who was elected might not have all of your best interests at heart. Now you don't have nothing. You don't have representation, right? Putting you first. You feel like, government is not impacting your life. You feel like government is not making your life better, but you didn't vote. Y'all hit the like button on the YouTube side. This is the Suzette Speaks Show. The time in the city is 1:27. I'm going to play this clip because it really bothers me that they have intelligent men and women in our community that sat out. There are enough votes that could have beat the winner of CD20. There was enough votes for everyone. People were saying, well, they had so many people. Good afternoon. Welcome. There's so many people running in CD20. They shot themselves in the foot. They should have consolidated and only chosen one candidate. There still was enough votes of people who did not show up and choose to exercise their right to vote to become victorious, even if Debbie Wasserman Schultz was in the race. But people decided to stay home. Why? I don't know. It hurts me. And I pulled up an interview of a young man looks middle-aged and went to Uncle Luke's watch party and said, I know there's a watch party, because you knew Uncle Luke was running for something. But still didn't vote in the midterm for Uncle Luke. But you at the watch party. Man, I can't make it up. I can't make it up. It is so frightening to me that there are people who will sit on the sidelines and then complain. And when their lives are harder, tougher, gas prices are higher, when things look kind of bleak overseas, when we're not getting the representation we want, we're upset, but we never vote. We can continue with some of these election results. Yes, Angie Nixon is the story of the day. I might talk about it tomorrow and get more details so you get to know who she is and what she's running for, because now odds are stacked against her again. But it's something about the underdog. Did you watch her? I got to pull up her acceptance speech, her victory speech. She went back to Jacksonville to accept the nomination. The audio is a little bit echoey. I don't know. Let me see if I can pull it up during the break. But all that I have to say is that nothing beats ballots. Bucks don't beat ballots. Money in our politics still don't beat your vote. Right now, every man and woman have a vote. Right now, every person has a vote. I hope it will remain that way as long as you're registered. We have some returning citizens who are coming out of the prison system who can't vote. But majority of people who are citizens can register to vote. But so many don't use their voice. Why? Guys, I got to take a quick break. I'm going to play for you one man's reason why he didn't vote. And I want to know what you think. Anyway, this is the Suzette Speaks show coming to you every Thursday and Friday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. More right after this.
All new Voice of the Caribbean. Better sounding radio.
South Florida, get ready. The Voice of the Caribbean 101.5 FM HD2 and 96.9 FM is opening up brand new advertising opportunities serving Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Palm Beach. We're offering flexible, affordable ad packages designed for local businesses ready to make big moves. Reach the Caribbean American community with music, news, and culture they trust. Call us at 954-999-0070 or 954-999-0134. And let's put your brand on the airwaves with a Voice of the Caribbean.
Sunday.
How are you? Let me not get copyright struck. How you guys doing? Beautiful day in the neighborhood here in Miami. I didn't get to do all my wonderful setup. I'm trying a new light. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah, no, absolutely not. Okay, that light almost threw my show off. Let me try to refocus on the StreamYard because I don't like how I look on the StreamYard. Anyway, how y'all doing? I'm trying to get my hair to look decent on the StreamYard. Hey.
Remember when the day
Yes,
when
tomorrow. I'm taking it.
Oh, okay, because she had said Thursday and Friday. You said okay. And then you said also last week Friday. Because that's what I was referring to make sure if you were still taking.
Tomorrow
today.
I am, but not today.
Okay.
But tomorrow I
So
am.
then I'll tell Miss Armstrong. So that's what we all under the impression that you were still taking today.
I can.
But if you have something to do, don't worry about it.
I was gonna take the call here, but I have a 2:30 call.
Oh,
So what you say? I can do it.
okay.
I'll take it.
So the break is
Same thing, right? So that's fine. But I have a call at 2:30. I think I'll be good. Okay, I'll do it. But I planned it for tomorrow for sure.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Ooh, child. Let me try to get my life together. I do not look how this look. This camera at the very top is in my nose. How y'all doing? They trying to see if I'm gonna do the extra time. Oh, I'm so tired. I'm like, I had what I wanted to pull up. What I want to say, Broward County voting totals. Broward County voter turnout. Sorry, I do not want to be copyrighted. What's up, y'all? Good to see you. Turnout totals. Let's see. All right, let's go. My hair is so bushy. I'm not sure what to do with it. Up top it looks crazy, but we're just gonna go live. Let's see. Good afternoon and welcome back. It's the Suzette Speaks show. The time in the city is now 1:33. I hope you're having a beautiful day. We got so much to talk about. There's news you can use, hot topics, social media trends is what I give you each and every Thursday and Friday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. I'm smiling right now, y'all, but I'm not giving you too much laughs today because the voter turnout in this election has been so terrible that I don't even know how to put it into words, but I'm going to let the numbers back it up for me. I'm talking about the Congressional District 20. This has become national news, y'all. If you have not been paying attention, we just had on Tuesday our primary election in the state of Florida, and that means each of the parties, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, had a chance to pick and select their winners to go head to head with the opposition, the opposing party, in November, on November 3rd, right? So the Democrats all got together, selected their top person for each race. So did the Republicans, and we are finding out who is now victorious and who will face off in November. But the biggest headline right now, and I'm going to take this from an article written by Local 10 News. Local 10 News is a local news outlet in South Florida, right? Serving Broward and Miami-Dade. Well, the results are in. Florida primary. Broward Supervisor of Election goodness. What's up with the tongue tie? Come on, Sue. Florida in Broward County, the Supervisor of Election has let us know how many and what percentage of registered voters have turned out. How many and what percentage of total registered voters have turned out? Broward County, what did you do? How did you do? Well, according to Local 10 News, in an interview with the Supervisor of Elections for Broward County, Mr. Joe Scott said, what? Frighten me. Joe Scott, Broward County Supervisor of Elections, according to this Local 10 article, where we are discussing the turnout and the low numbers of registered people who registered to vote, but didn't vote in the primaries. It is abysmal. Joe Scott, Broward County Supervisor of Elections, reported that the county's primary voter turnout was total. How many of 100% do you think came out? Of 100%. If all the registered voters is 100%, what percentage do you think came out in the primary? Anybody, class? Anybody? Anybody in the back? What y'all saying? All my listeners, I'm asking you, what do you think? Being a little sarcastic. What do you think? What y'all said? 25%? Who said 25? Who said 50? You're wrong. I'll tell you that right off the bat, Mr. 50 or Mrs. 50%. You think so much people would have come out to determine who's going to represent them in the future? You think it would be a high percentage? Absolutely not. The total amount of voter turnout in just Broward County alone of all the registered people, 16.24% on Tuesday came out to vote. Broward County has 346 precincts and more than 1.35 million registered voters. Some people say 1.4 million. Broward County total is like 2 million, but registered voters say 1.4. And as of just about the close of polls on Tuesday, the total amount of people out of the 1.4 million that voted was 217,000. 217,000 and change, 520 had cast a ballot. Nearly 35% voted by mail. That's good to know. If you want to vote by mail again and you didn't request your November ballot, go ahead and do it now, because you have to do it at least, I believe it's 2 weeks before the election, so that they can get the request, mail it to you, and you have time to drop it back off. So of all the people that voted in Broward, 35%, about a third, more than a third, voted by mail. 28% voted early, another third, well, less give or take. So they went during early voting. And about 36% went on election day. That's pretty high. 36.6% voted on election day, according to data released by the Broward County Supervisor of Elections, Joe Scott. Wow. Now, it really bothers me, though, when you think about 1.4 million people being registered and only 217,000. 16.24%, 16% of the people voted. So what was the result of that? Well, we've been talking about results. Like I said, we are making headlines in the state of Florida still today. First and foremost, the election of the United States Senate candidate for the Democrats, Miss Angie Nixon, has been breaking the internet. Angie Nixon, House of Representatives member from Jacksonville, Duval. That's what they say, Duval County. Jacksonville, also known as Duval County. She came from an organizing background, running statewide organizations, labor unions. We're going to deep dive into Angie Nixon tomorrow. I'm sad. Tomorrow's my last day with my intern. My intern is going back to school. Lexi, if you're listening, big up yourself. I've enjoyed having her. We're going to do an extended program tomorrow for her farewell. She's done wonderfully. We have an internship program here. If you have a young person who's interested in radio communications, we'd love to have them. But big up Lexi. But Miss Angie Nixon, outside of the low voter turnout all over the state, the big story is a woman who was not expected to win the United States Senate nomination. If you haven't heard about her, start looking her up and start looking up her platform from now. Now, I will brag a bit. I will boast a bit. She was already on the Suzette Speaks show. Oh, yes. I had her before. She was on MSNBC. She's on CNN. She's on Good Morning with Gayle King. She's on everybody's platform. Everybody calling up her phone. I had her here first because I saw the boldness. I saw the talent. I saw the passion. I invited her here when she first made news. She spoke about it here on the Suzette Speaks show. This was months ago when the redistricting, the drawing of the maps for Florida was reset by the Republicans and drawn in their favor, where Democrats lost basically the potential to have 8 seats in Congress. Now they can most likely, if they win, have 4. They switched up the map. Angie Nixon protested on the House floor in Tallahassee with a bullhorn in her pink jumpsuit. Y'all, I'm wearing fuchsia today. Y'all can't see me in the studio. Well, if you're watching on the YouTube, big up if you're watching on the YouTube. If you could, her campaign colors was the hot pink fuchsia, honey. That's why I'm just, it was by accident, but I'm channeling today. If you're watching on the YouTube, if you're watching on the Facebook, you will see the hot pink fuchsia, which is her campaign color. But with her background, she served as a representative for Jacksonville since 2020 in Tallahassee. She's a member of both the Democratic Party, and just 3 weeks ago, she also joined the Democratic Socialists of America. Now, we're going to get a little deeper into it tomorrow because people are using this word, socialism, and it means different things to different cultures. I want to also say, South Florida, we're going to have to explain that. What does it mean? Well, she believes in universal child care. She believes that the government, through taxing the ultra rich, the 1%, less than even, they're not even one, they're less than the top less than 1% of people that own all the resources. Because she believes, and I'm not putting words in her mouth, you look up her platform, that there's been a flow of money, flow of resources from the very bottom, from the masses of people to the everyday woman and man, from the worker, the hard worker who goes to work and makes very little compared to these massive corporations that are making millions and billions off of people and not giving back to the workers that make these organizations and corporations possible, and even exploiting them, some would argue, and even exploiting the consumer who are buying the product, the food, the AI, whatever the product is, while those at the very top eat, get money. There are people that are waking up to this, and I'm telling you, just by looking at the results of the United States Senate Democratic race, people are resonating with it. I have seen comments being made by commentators who don't know about the state of Florida. That's why we are here. Voice of the Caribbean, we know what the people want. We know what the people are saying. We're here to reflect back who you are and your values. Because you have people out of state that dropped a person, Alex Vindman, into the state of Florida with all this money. He had a track record. He had testified against Donald Trump in an impeachment. He was a whistleblower, served our country honorably, but he didn't know about Florida and what we got going on down here. He seemed like what they call a carpetbagger. Carpetbagger is an old school term in politics for someone that comes from outside of your county, your district, your state, from mostly up north to down south. That's when the term was coined because they had actual carpetbags back in the day. We got to understand where some of these terminologies come. But people from outside coming into your state, trying to run things for you. Well, Miss Angie Nixon, born and raised, native of Jacksonville, Florida, graduate of Stanton College Preparatory School and my alma mater, University of Florida. Go Gators. Smart girl. Formerly worked as an aide to another state rep where she got her start, Mia Jones, when she represented the 14th District in Jacksonville. She is the co-founder, Miss Angie Nixon, of Melanin Market, an outdoor market which allows small business owners to sell healthy food options and connect with local residents and make sure they enjoy their local resources. She own a farmer's market. Me love it. She make a speech. No, I'm going to find the speech. The audio for the speech is kind of bad, guys. I want to play it for you. Her winning speech. She have a fire in her belly. Because guess what? The numbers are not in her favor. The outlying numbers of fundraising, the opponent that she ran against raised 16 plus million. She raised 1. She never had enough money to even advertise on TV. I brought her here on the Suzette Speaks show to talk about her standing up against redistricting in Florida. We did that interview way back before she became the nominee because, again, we want to bring you interesting people who have impact and leadership that you should know about. She was here. Yeah, man. Me bring her on long before she win this nomination. Long before. Because that's what we do here at Voice of the Caribbean. Yes, darling. Remember, this is the Suzette Speaks show. Mind me get in trouble. All the opinions expressed here are that of me, the hostess with the mostest, our guests, our callers. You can call me. I want to know how you feel about this election, guys. Were you disappointed? Some people that call me a ball. Me have lunch with a colleague yesterday. He was like, whoa, these people didn't vote. 16% turnout of all of the registered voters. 16% came out. There was enough voters to beat anybody you wanted to beat. But here we go. We have Congressional District 20. People are upset. Should it have been Debbie Wasserman? Really? She got 40 odd percent. Let me look online. But when we look, majority of people who did vote voted for somebody else. I'm just saying, let's look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie. Outside of the abysmal Broward County turnout, same thing with Miami-Dade. They didn't do much better. Sorry, Broward, I'm giving it to you. But people are really paying attention to CD20 with Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Who is she going to represent? You? CD20? You first? I'm asking. People are now at odds. Oh, that shouldn't be. It's too late. When we are asking people to get involved in the process, you can't wait till after the election. It's just what it is. I also want to give a shout out to the judges of Broward County. Big up my illustrious colleague, Veronica Walker, who will be headed to the bench. Proud of you, sis. Another black woman takes the bench in Broward County. And also special shout out to Tamar Hamilton. She was in a 3-person race. In order to win judge in the state of Florida, you have to have 50% or more of the votes. Tamar got the most in her district in Broward County, but she was at 40-some percent. She did not quite get the 50%. So she and a guy named, what's his name, Fry, is going to go to head-to-head runoff in November. So she's a step closer. I'm proud of you, Tamar Hamilton. 3rd time's a charm, sis. We speaking it, sis. We speaking it, sis. She need our support. If you say you need more diversity on the bench, when are you supporting the people who are running for office? When you sit at home, when are you supporting the people running for office? When you're talking to me and you're calling after you never vote, when are you actually supporting them? We understand this system now. We're here. I also thought about my Haitian brothers and sisters. I was like, Lord, was it turnout low because these people are afraid to go to the polls? Is that by design, God? My opinions. Was it the turnout low because people not understand the system? Why is it? Why is it? Why is it? Why is it? The people now come out of them bed. You didn't think it was nobody on this ballot was worthy of your vote? Y'all went to Uncle Luke party, but you never vote for. Let me play the clip. I'm going to play a clip. Let me calm down. I'm gonna play a clip now. I saw it on the Roland Martin show, and it was done by a local reporter. He used the clip. I guess I have to give credit to both. I want to say it's NBC6 reporter. I wish I had her name right now on the top of my tongue, but she interviewed a man who sat at a table at Uncle Luke Campbell's campaign party after the election. Every candidate has their campaign rally, their party, right? So after the polls closed on Tuesday, you had Sheila Sherfilis. She was at Smitty's. You had, for example, Dale Holness. He met and rallied at his office. I think Mike was there with the sound system. And you had all the different candidates. Uncle Luke was at the, I forget the name of this place, off Sistrunk, right? The barbershop off Sistrunk. And so different people, support their candidate, show up at the rally. They want to be supportive, watch the results come in. People, like-minded people like to be together. So everybody go to the different rally. Listen to this man. My heart break. Listen to this man. My God. All right, I'm going to play it from the Roland Martin. Hold on. I got to put on my headphones. Sorry if it squeak a little bit. All right, no feedback. Good. No feedback. I'm not talking loud. I'm talking loud. Because some feel it in my spirit. Let me play what this one man said, why he didn't go to, or why he went to the after party, the Luke rally, post-election rally for Uncle Luke, why he went to the rally, but he never voted. When I say my heart breaks, I'm like, why are people staying home? Why are they not voting? What is happening? And he was interviewed by this reporter. I'm playing the clip from Roland Martin, but I think it was an NBC6 reporter. Here goes one gentleman at the Uncle Luke after party describing why he didn't vote. Listen up.
Most total would have beat in Washington. So that's another conversation. But play this, and Angie, I want you to respond to this because this, I believe, is something that you're going to have to contend with and other folks across the country. Go.
You are a registered voter.
Yes, ma'am.
What county?
Yes, ma'am.
Which county?
Broward County.
Why didn't you vote? And you told us earlier just now that you did not vote today.
I did not vote no more.
Why didn't you vote today?
Because I might be misinformed on the importance of this vote. You get what I'm saying? The vote is always about the presidency, about the higher end people who are every 4 years, but we know that every 2 years, every 2 years or 6 years, that it's another important vote that needs to go on, and we're just not informed about it. We're not pushed to go there. We're not taught to go for that vote.
What would it take to get you to show up and vote? Because you're at a Luther Campbell election night party, so you knew he was running for office.
I understand that is very true, but at the same time, the importance of that vote is not emphasized in our communities. You get what I'm saying? We're emphasized to go and vote for the president, Obama. Everybody show up for the presidency. Nobody really shows up for these votes because midterms. That's what the name of the midterm vote, because it's just the midterms. Nobody sees it as an important time to vote.
Your first name?
Arthur.
Your last name, Arthur?
Arthur.
Thank you.
Well, that was a clip from an NBC reporter via the Roland Martin show that also used that clip. And we heard firsthand that a man who was at the Uncle Luke, Luther Campbell, who ran for Congress, CD20, he ran for Congress. He's at Uncle Luke's election party. The after party for the election being closed and the polls closed, and then you go to your candidate's party to watch the results come in and see if they won. He's at Uncle Luke's election party, a grown man. And he says no one told him or he felt misinformed about the election and that he doesn't want to make a misinformed decision, and people only tell him or tell us, as he was saying, that it's most important to vote every 4 years and not every 2 years. And he's like, in the midterms, and she's like, the midterms, and he's like, oh, that's what it's called, the midterms. And he's like, no one is emphasizing that we need to vote that year. What do we do? South Florida, what do we do to reach a person like that who is at the after party for a man who ran but never even voted for him? He says he didn't understand the importance and he didn't want to be misinformed. What is going on, South Florida? And all over Florida. Literally less than 20%, most places. Different counties, same result. A small handful of the party faithful make the decision for everybody of who's going to run in November. The primary is when you get to pick your horse, so to speak, in the horse race. Then it's on head to head in November. The primary is when you see who reflects your values the most from your party to represent and carry the banner for your party into November. The primaries, to me, is the most important thing. But it doesn't look like our community is fully engaging because they don't necessarily understand that. So what is the comprehensive plan? What are we doing to have these conversations? From our barbershops and our salons, nail shops, to the bookstores, flea markets, farmers markets, right? Different offices that people visit, churches. I don't know. I don't say I have all the answers, guys. But I still find it quite heartbreaking that grown people, is a choice. Some people are saying, oh, beating him up online. If he's not informed, it's his choice. He's choosing not to be informed. I'm not going to go as far as to say that. Maybe he does not have proper civic knowledge. He really don't understand and he's afraid to ask. I don't know. But the majority of people that could have showed up could have easily beat the winner in any race. But it's only who shows up matters. That's who matters, who shows up. This is Suzette Speaks Show. The time is 1:55. We're going to go a little extra today because we got, again, election results that have rocked the nation. We have a winner in the United States Senate, Democratic primary. We got to go back to governor, though. Y'all happy with the governor choices? That's the two that made it through the primary. Whether you voted or not, somebody put these two, David Jolly on the Democratic side versus Byron Donalds on the Republican side. Byron Donalds does have Caribbean heritage. This is interesting. On the Republican side, Byron Donalds got 48% of the vote. Jay Collins, a lieutenant governor under Ron DeSantis, the second in line to the governor. Jay Collins is a lieutenant governor, got 25%. But this man right here on the ballot, James Fishback, there are people who have been reading articles about him that he is out and out. What could I call him? He's an out there candidate. People saying allegedly he's bigoted, he's racist, he has all kinds of baggage. He got 10% of the vote. 177,000 people on the Republican side still voted for James Fishback after I was reading all these articles about where he stands. He called Byron Donalds names. He called, oh my gosh, but 177,000, 10% of the Republicans that showed up still voted for him. Well, congratulations to Mr. Byron Donalds. He's the top contender for the Republicans. Mr. David Jolly and Lieutenant Governor Gwen Graham. I have to give a shout out, though, in that race. I had her on last Friday. You heard from her, Dana Marie Foster, a teacher from Broward County that ran for governor. Also put double digits up on the totals of votes. Girl, go 15%. 189,000 people voted for Dana Marie Foster. You had her here. Again, I don't follow the hype. I follow the substance. She was right here on the Suzette Speaks Show. We had her in an evening special session last Friday, one-on-one with Dana Marie Foster. She had a good showing. So did Dottie Joseph. Shout out to Dottie. She was a state representative from North Miami. Dottie Joseph only got in the race a few weeks ago and still got 10% of the vote too. 119,000 people voted for Dottie Joseph. Listen, Don't let one thing I'm getting from this election, don't let nobody tell you say you can't do something what you want to do. Don't let nobody tell you what you're not capable of. They outspent Miss Angie Nixon 20-1 in some of the media markets. She didn't have enough money to put nothing on TV. 60,000 she spent on TV ads. Look how Florida big. She had $1 million, but look what happened after she win. Upset the favorite, upset the super funded Alex Vindman, the establishment choice from DC. They was presenting him on a platter. He had a too much money advantage. There's no way he could lose. The people spoke. The people spoke. Now, again, she doesn't agree with everything that's on the Democratic Socialists of America. I've watched several interviews with her because I was getting ready for this. I got to go into more. Who is Angie Nixon? I'm going to get into it more on tomorrow's show with Miss Lexi. It'll be her last show. I've enjoyed having her. Shout out to our interns on Voice of the Caribbean. If you have a young person looking to break into the industry, yeah, link us. We'll see if it's a good fit. And we love to have, the next generation being nurtured here at Voice of the Caribbean, and particularly on the Suzette Speaks show. But I'm wondering, what did you take away? What did you take away from this election? You can call me, 850-446-0562. I'm going to be here for a little extra. Thank you, Miss Lisa. She's allowing us to go a little bit deeper because of the election results. Also, tomorrow, again, we're going to go into who these people are. Everybody keeps saying, I see the name. Some people, I didn't get a text. I never got a call. Nobody told me nothing. I didn't vote. Well, let's start the education right here on the Suzette Speaks show. We're going to start getting into some details and following what happened so we understand. And not place blame, but we got to understand so we can wake up the sleeping giant. Y'all, I got to take a quick break. I'm coming in for a little extra overtime today, thanks to Miss Lisa. Keep it locked right here. More Suzette Speaks show right after this.
HD2 Miami, 101.5 HD2. This is the all-new Voice of the Caribbean. Better sounding radio.
Guys,
WLYF 101.5 FM. HD2 Miami.
So this is what I'm going to do.
Simulcasting on.
Sorry, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start a new stream so I can get my numbers on YouTube up. So I'm going to end this stream and start a new stream. Okay, I got to get monetized before the end of the year. That's the plan. Anyway, hi everybody. Thank you. Hit the like button. I'm going to get off and I'm going to start a new stream for the next half hour. Thank you.